like we're getting very close on the shutdown. We'll never agree to give any substantial money or any money to really prisoners, illegals that come into our country. And I think the Democrats understand that. And it looks like we're getting close to the shutdown ending. You'll know very soon. Thank you very much.
Jill Disis joins us now to talk us through what we know, what we don't know. Jill, what progress has been made?
So at this point, Guy, what we've done is we've reached the success of a procedural sort of test vote in the Senate. So this kind of opens the door for the Senate to then reconvene in the morning, so Monday U.S. time, and actually put this to another vote. So this came through 60-40. What this would ultimately do is to fund some government agencies for the next year, but only a few, really Congress itself, plus the Department of Agriculture, the Department of Veterans Affairs, and then it would keep other government agencies funded through January 30th, in addition to providing some funding for furloughed workers, et cetera. So it does bring an end to the shutdown. In sort of response to this, the moderate Democrats that the Republicans were able to sway over to achieve this 60-40 vote, that say that they were promised basically another vote on some Obamacare tax provisions that was ultimately at the heart of the shutdown. So that could come sometime in December, if that's what was ultimately achieved here. So that's pretty much where we're at. But again, I think still a long way to go before this is actually, we'd consider the shutdown over. But it is a pretty significant step in ending what's been a 40-day shutdown.
Exactly, Jill. Are the markets getting a bit too optimistic here? What happens next? What about the House? Is this going to get past that?
That is a great question, and I think we've already heard from some House Democrats that are not particularly in favor of this plan. So look, I mean, at this point, certainly we've got all indications that this particular plan will pass the Senate. That is an open question in terms of, how this kind of, moves forward. And also remember, though, that even though it's passed this sort of procedural test vote, any sort of response from any senator, while they can't actually block the vote outright, could potentially delay it for another couple of days. So there's still not entirely, it's not entirely certain that all of this is going to be wrapped up, incredibly instantly. I think the other point, too, when it comes to a lot of the Democrats is that while it has, achieved this pretty significant milestone in the Senate, again, this doesn't really include anything that really kind of lays down in concrete terms, what the Democrats were ultimately asking for here in terms of, some of those concerns over health care, those tax breaks, that kind of thing. I mean, you do have this pledge from the Republicans that there will be, a bill brought forth in December. But again, it really does fall short of some of those concessions that Democrats were ultimately seeking here. We've already heard from a couple overnight, that are kind of dissatisfied with the direction this is taking. So I'm sure there will be more to come in the morning. But again, so there's certainly, some signs that the shutdown could be ending, but a lot of hurdles that we have to overcome before we ultimately reach that point.